Hey, how's it going, everyone? Into the Pit is finally out, and with the release of a new FNAF game, we're left with a whole new batch of questions. But after playing Into the Pit, the main question on the forefront of my mind is whether or not this game made the Fazbear Frights books canon. So like and subscribe, because today I'm going to solve this question once and for all. Into the Pit is a game about a boy named Oswald time traveling in a ball pit in a restaurant called Jeff's Pizza to go back to Freddy Fazbear's during the missing children's incident to try to rescue his father from an agony monster. So right off the bat, if you already believe the books are canon, all the power to you. This game probably didn't change your mind. That being said, for those who are more skeptical, there is doubt as to whether this game is even canon, never mind the books. You see, the reason for this is that all the menus appear to be on a TV screen, which point to this potentially being an in-universe video game. That would tie in with the theory some have that Fazbear Frights, like the book series, are just in-universe books, which would explain all the book references in Security Breach, like this fetch arcade machine thing. Yet, beyond the menu screens, there's nothing really to imply that Into the Pit is an in-universe game. Like, in Help Wanted, for instance, where they explicitly make it clear that this is a video game. And on top of that, this is like a FNAF game, and up till now, we've never assumed a FNAF game was a video game, in verse, without that being explicitly clear. And if all of that isn't enough to convince you, the new series of interactive novels feature a book called The Week Before, which seems to be just outright confirmed to be in the same world as the games. So assuming that all the interactive novels in this series will be canon to the games, it's important to note that an interactive novel based on the Into the Pit video game called Return to the Pit is being made in this same series. So logically, that would lead one to assume that this game is canon. And beyond that, this is a pretty isolated story, so canon or not, it would fit pretty cleanly between FNAF 1 and 3. That being said, we should address whether the Fazbear Frights books are even canon to the Into the Pit video game. Just a little unclear, as there are plenty of Fazbear Frights references in the game, but it goes further than just Easter eggs. There are mini games that show Eleanor from To Be Beautiful, Fetch from Fetch, and Millie from Count the Ways. And mini games in the FNAF franchise have always been actual events that have happened, even if the events in the minigames aren't exactly one-to-one, like how Baby didn't kill Elizabeth outside, or how Happiest Day is more metaphorical than literal. On top of that, on at least 2 nights, you can see the Stitch Wraith outside of Oswald's window. Taken literally, you can use this to say that at least those 4 characters are canon. But like all things shown in FNAF, it's not so straightforward. For instance, I just said not all the minigames are literal, and as shown in the game, Oswald is hallucinating. So these could all just be merely references explained by the fact that Oswald is just tripping due to the agony in the ball pit. Beyond that, there are inconsistencies between this game and the actual books. For starters, in the book, Oswald only goes back for his father. He doesn't rescue any other people. Now, this is likely just an expansion of the story to make it more fun to play, but even beyond that, Oswald seems to be time traveling in the ball pit. That may seem redundant, especially since that's the whole point, but in the books, it's heavily implied that Oswald isn't actually time traveling in the ball pit, merely that the agony in there is allowing him to interact with certain memories, as shown in the book when Jake uses the ball pit to give Millie's spirit a good memory so she can be at peace. And yet, Oswald is very clearly time traveling in the video game, like how when Pit Bonnie destroys the door in the past, it's destroyed in the present. And even if you want to attribute that to just an hallucination or something, Oswald literally brings a rat from the past, and other people can see it. So if you really want to align this to the books, you would have to say that these agony hallucinations are so strong that other people are beginning to see it. Which is unlikely, but it technically is possible due to how we see Oswald's house deteriorating through the game. So I guess it's possible? But even if you want to grant it that, I would argue that in spite of that, Fazbear Frights has always had some inconsistencies with the canons, like how William Afton's body blows up in the books, even though Burn Trap is most likely made from that same body. And even Into the Pit, like the book, they mentioned there being 6 MCI kids, yet it's pretty well established there are only 5. And in this game, there also seems to only be 5. Throw in the fact that they're making a presumably canon book based on this game, which is already based on a book, it seems to imply that they not only adjusted the Into the Pit story to be a fun game, but also to fit in with the FNAF canon. And with the mini games and Easter eggs, it seems to be likely that while these books might not be canon, they're being adapted into games that will be. This seems especially likely since Mega Cat Studio is purportedly going to make a Fetch game. In short, with the dust settled, it seems like there are 3 options here. Number 1, the books are canon, which is possible if you squint or something, I guess, right? Number 2, the books aren't canon, and you can likely say that Into the Pit is also just a video game. And finally, number 3, which I feel is the most probable, the books aren't canon, but they're being adapted into games that are. Well, folks, that's all I got for you today. I'm working on a security breach video, so keep an eye out for that. And like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.